What a last 4 days from the San Francisco 49ers, and it just got better. In this video, I've got a ton of reasons for you to be hyped about what the 49ers are doing, including some new developments that we have to talk about as well. Stick around to the end, by the way, too, for a clip that I think you're really going to resonate with. But if you're new here, I'm Nate, and if you're looking for daily 49ers content, hit that subscribe button. But I'd love to know right now, comment below how you are feeling about what the 49ers have been doing over the last 4 days or so, because I am beyond hyped about what's going on. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about it, but let's jump straight into the first piece. There we go. There, it's on the screen now. Is this chart. I actually did not come across this myself. I don't follow this guy, or I didn't follow this guy. I do now, Hayden Winks. But somebody sent this to me. Thank you so much for sending. This is awesome, okay? So on the vertical axis, you're seeing catch rate on catchable targets, okay? So when a catchable target is thrown, what is your catch rate? And then on the other one is targets per route, okay? And in the top left corner, you're seeing minimal targets per route and catchability ranking. And Ricky Pearsall is at the very, very top. He's not getting thrown the ball a ton for the number of routes run. And despite all of that, he is catching basically everything. I mean, literally almost basically everything. Ricky Pearsall absolutely showing strong on this chart against all the other rookies in 2024. So yes, you're seeing who is getting the ball thrown on non-scheme dropbacks and who is actually catching passes that they should. Ricky Pearsall absolutely exploding on that one. Be hyped about Ricky Pearsall. He's got a big year coming. I can't wait for it. Another one. You've probably already heard about this update, so I'll make it quick. But Brock Purdy, this deal just seems to get better every single time, every single day that passes. And the deal is official now today, by the way. 49ers put out a bunch of great videos and stuff like that, celebrating the new contract being serious. But if you missed this, according to a source, Brock Purdy, this is per David Lombardi, by the way, Brock Purdy's agent Kyle Strongen, successfully negotiated a full no-trade clause into the deal. Like I said, you probably already heard about that, so I'm not going to go crazy on it, but I will just say, this is crazy, and this is a good deal for the 49ers. We now know that the starting asking price from Brock Purdy was $65 million, and he ended up settling at 53 AAV. So to be up there so high and to come down so low when the 49ers only moved up by $4 million, that is pretty crazy, and it's telling. And I think that this no trade clause is a huge part of it. I think that Brock Purdy's agent accepted the no trade clause instead of meeting in the middle on that money, right? That was at least part of the deal. The other part of it that's probably a huge factor is the 180 guaranteed. So you get a huge guarantee, 100 at signing, if I'm not mistaken. That's how you end up getting that deal over the line. But good on the 49ers and Brock Purdy for working this deal out. I absolutely love that. Another thing, talking about the Fred Warner deal. This is from Warren Sharp here. The only things you need to know about Fred Warner. Last year, he fractured his ankle week 4 and then played 100% of defensive snaps for the next 7 games. He played 100% of games for the rest of the season. Plays his most special team snaps in a year since his rookie season, while playing for a 6-11 49ers team that was eliminated early from the playoffs. Hit 131 tackles, becoming one of 3 players in the NFL with 130-plus tackles in 4 straight seasons, and was voted first-team All-Pro and to the Pro Bowl, all on a fractured ankle because he's built like that. That's incredible. Let's not I don't even need to go into detail on that because you know it. He said it right there. Warren Sharp said it way better than I could. But we know as we watch Fred Warner how not only was he doing all that on a broken ankle, he was also covering for Devondre Campbell half the time. He was covering for guys on either side of him that were not doing their jobs at all times. So Fred Warner was doing a lot more than just playing on a broken ankle, as if that by itself weren't enough. He was an absolute beast. Fred Warner's PFF grade last season before breaking his ankle, 95.8. His PFF grade while playing with a broken ankle was still 84.8, which was top 3 linebackers last season, even when playing on one leg, from Jeff Deeney on that PFF take there. Absolutely love that. So if you're not hyped on the Fred Warner deal, I mean, You have to be hyped on the Fred Warner deal. Of course you are. So we'll keep moving on, but I'm sure you may have come across this, but just in case you didn't, I had a whole video talking about Greg Joseph. I'll show you the thumbnail for that in a second so you know what it looks like if you want to go look at it. But this from Tim Kawakami on signing kicker Greg Joseph. I think there will be a real competition, and I predict that if this guy is any good, he's going to beat out Jake Moody. So for all of you who are like, yeah, not good enough, got to get rid of Jake Moody, there's a little hope for you. I don't think Jake Moody is any good. This is Tim Kawakami. I just don't think you can go into the season saying Jake Moody is our kicker. In a situation, even with this really soft schedule, I don't think they're blowing out teams. You're going to need to kick field goals to win a lot of those games. He's got the connections to the special teams coach Brant Boyer. He has the connections to Robert Saleh. I say he's the kicker. Now, of course, some of you are not super enthused with Greg Joseph as a kicker in general, and that's fine. You know what? Like, that's cool. You can be as critical as you want of Greg Joseph. Do you know why? Because we didn't give up a third-round draft pick to get him, okay? So we can be critical with him and still say it was the right move to move on from Jake Moody. Does that make sense? Because, you know, in the middle of the season, what I don't want to see in the comments section is people saying, you know, we shouldn't have got rid of Jake Moody and picked up this guy. He's not any good. The bottom line was, this guy is way cheaper in terms of draft capital, so I'm okay with it. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited that there's going to be a legit competition. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I'm really hesitant to see the 49ers commit to Jake Moody, but I like that they're putting it through the paces and they're you know, kind of letting this thing work its way out. Do you know why? Because the 49ers have the better leverage on Jake Moody. If other teams are interested in a guy who's young, who was really, really good in college, and they think, oh, I can fix him. If they're really high on him, then don't let them get him now. Make them wait until the end of training camp when his value goes up. And so if you decide that maybe you don't want to get rid of him, maybe there's an opportunity there. Maybe there's something you could get out of it. Unlikely, he's probably just going to get cut. That's the way that these things usually go. But you never know, right? It doesn't hurt to hold on to him as long as you can and give him a shot to try and prove that he's worth the value. That video I did, by the way, is right there on the screen if you want to go, so you know what it looks like if you want to go check out that video on Greg Joseph. We also talked about Jake Moody. We talked about Greg Joseph. And we talked about Justin Tucker. So there you go. One other thing I wanted to throw out there from this David Lombardi article from a couple days ago. I will link it, by the way, in the show notes on this video. I want to obviously get it done quick. Purdy said at the end of the season, that would be great just so we can get back and get after it with our receivers and our team just continue to grow because, man, we've all got to grow together. Just a reminder of the leadership Brock Purdy had and the intentionality he set at the end of the season. Everyone's timing is a little bit different. For me, at the end of the day, I want to win. I want to win for this organization. I'm not the kind of guy that wants any drama associated with anything. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I'm here for this organization, my teammates in the locker room, and I want to be really professional about it. Yes, Brock Purdy, thank you. That quote aged remarkably well, writes David Lombardi. Purdy and the 49ers agreed to terms on May 16th, more than 2 months before the start of training camp and more than 3 months before the dates of his teammates Nick Bosa, September 6th, and Brendan Aiyuk, August 30th, signed their extensions in prior years. A quick resolution was also important for the 49ers, who'd grown weary of their reputation as late finishers in the contract game. Since general manager John Lynch and coach Kyle Shanahan took over in 2017, the 49ers have awarded more big deals and spent more money than almost any other National Football League team. But negotiations haven't come without drama, and so it's so refreshing to have Purdy, Kittle, Warner, Demo, have all of these contracts get done in the last year without drama. It's felt really, really good, and I'm absolutely all here for it. One thing I thought, if you didn't hear this, stick around for this. I'm going to play a clip for you, Craig Carton of Breakfast Ball, and what he said about Brock Purdy's deal that I think you're going to resonate with. If you haven't heard it yet, stick around and give this a listen.
You take any great quarterback in the modern era, and I will guarantee you they've got a great roster around them. And for some reason, people, and I think it's still because of where he got drafted, like if Brock Purdy was the overall #1 pick in that draft, nobody would be saying he doesn't deserve the contract or he's not a legitimate top whatever. quarterback.
Well, but it's also because Jimmy Garoppolo was in a Super Bowl with this team. And then we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo do exactly nothing since leaving the team.
Well,
Like, I think that's a huge piece of this for a lot of us.
We talk about guys all the time, and the guy's a bust, the guy's really good, the guy's this, that, and the other. Think about what we just learned in Chicago. When Caleb Williams comes out and says, hey, the coaches just put me in a dark room by myself to watch film. They're not watching it with me. We're not studying it together. I'm not like, hey, fend for yourself. Like there's nobody. I don't care how talented you are. You go into a situation like that, and it's going to be really hard to have success. It just is almost impossible.
Yeah.
And the fact that Caleb Williams had that success, but you put Brock Purdy in that situation as opposed to what he had in San Francisco.
He would not have been as successful.
It's not going to be as successful.
But I always use Steve Young as my example because he's in the Hall of Fame, right? Steve Young at Tampa was about to become a UPS driver, right? All of a sudden,
Nothing
he goes
against
to San
UPS
Francisco,
drivers.
and he's Hall of Famers everywhere.
Sure.
And Steve Young is now a Hall of Famer and regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of football. But it's also based on where he went.
Right.
Because if he stayed in Tampa, he's a nobody.
Now, it's fair to say, okay, and I love that Carton makes this point, okay, because that isn't him saying, like everyone's saying about Brock Purdy, that's not him saying Steve Young wasn't a good quarterback. That's him saying even good quarterbacks need great players around them because great players make great teams win Super Bowls. You don't win the Super Bowl without a great team. We can look at the Josh Allens, we can look at the Joe Burrows, we can look at the Lamar Jacksons, whoever you want to compare people to. And the bottom line is, like, Joe Burrow gets off because his defense is bad, right? And they don't make the playoffs. You look at Josh Allen and you say, well, we need more help around him because he didn't have enough wide receiver talent not that long ago, right? And yeah, he was able to get things done, right? And Khalil Shakir was able to step up in places where he could make a difference and all that, yada, yada, yada. But the point is, those players still have to be great players. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's important to remember, this is just my opinion, you let me know what you think in the comments, but I think it's important to remember that it can both be true that Brock Purdy is a great quarterback for Kyle Shanahan's system. It can also be true that Brock Purdy benefits from having great talent around him. And it can also be true that Brock Purdy is still a great quarterback. Like, all of that stuff can be true at the same time, okay? And it's also fair to say that, okay, who's the best available quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers right now? Brock Purdy, 100%. So what are they going to do? It's not like they can go and get a Josh Allen right now. They can't go and get a Lamar Jackson right now. They can't go and get a Joe Burrow even right now. So the 49ers have the option to go with a guy that they know who fits their system, who can clearly execute their scheme at the highest level up to the point of the Super Bowl. And when you say bad year last year when he was playing with, basically one of the worst wide receiver cores in terms of separation, he's able to take George Kittle and he's able to take Juwan Jennings, who are both dogs, and even though their separation isn't great, he's able to make something out of those opportunities with those particular guys. He's able to make something happen without Deebo Samuel playing his best football. He's able to make something happen with Christian McCaffrey basically not being on the field all season. He's able to make something happen with Brandon Aiyuk having a horrible start to the season and then basically not playing the rest of the season. 100% not playing the rest of the season after he got injured. So say what you want, all right? Say what you want about Brock Purdy, okay? But I don't think I think people make the wrong arguments consistently around Brock Purdy because they don't, in my opinion, they don't seem to make the connection between you can be a system quarterback. That's fine with me. I don't care. Every quarterback is a system quarterback to some extent. And then you have a couple freaks in the NFL who could probably thrive in any possible system. And that's fine. Brock Purdy's not that guy. We're not asking him to be that guy. He's not playing for the New York Jets. He's not playing for another team. He's playing for the 49ers. So it fits, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's where I'm at. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, appreciate you guys. We are getting dangerously close to OTAs Phase 2 happening a week from right now. I'm hyped about it. I hope you are too. We're going to be covering it all along the way, so make sure you're subbed up so you don't miss out on all of that. And definitely stay involved in the comments section. I very much appreciate your guys' comments. Ryan Jones, dude, I'm sorry. I meant to reply to your comments. You sent a bunch of them last time. We talked about Tatum Bethune and Jalen Graham, and dude, you're right. Those were the guys I was thinking of. But also the Nick Martins, and also See, I did it again. D. Winters, thank you. My word. It took me a second, though, didn't it? There's also other guys in there. Curtis Robinson, right? That these guys are going to be kicking around and trying to get an opportunity as well. So lots of important players, of course, for the linebacker position, in addition to Fred Warner, best in the world.